Today we are building Norman Osborn Green Goblin, the new double-faced card from the Spider-Man set. He is a massive force to be reckoned with once he's on the battlefield, so I'm going to show you how to make him super consistent while also giving you loads of slots to flex and personalise this deck to your heart's content. Let's do this. This is a discard-based commander deck, and we're relying wholeheartedly on the Green Goblin's ability to bring everything back from the graveyard for its newly acquired Mayhem cost. If you're unaware of what Norman Osborn or Green Goblin do, you're welcome to pause right now, but for everyone else, let's carry on with the deck. Let's start, as we always do, with ramp, as that's what gets us on the battlefield nice and early and makes sure we can cast our commander on curve. There's nothing out of the ordinary here. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet and the 3 talismans, creativity, dominance and indulgence. We're also running Fellwar Stone and Wave Herald's Bauble for a bit of extra colour fixing. We do have a unique ramp effect with Scourge Familiar, which also feeds directly into our discard game plan. Now we've got our commander on the battlefield, let's talk about card advantage. And within this deck, it ties directly into our discard game plan. Loot and rummage effects have been around in Magic for a long time, and we are going to take full advantage of them. Careful Study, Faithless Looting, Karthik Hire, Karthik Reunion, Demand Answers, Faithless Salvaging, Grab the Prize, Romantic Rendezvous, Wheel of Possibility, Tormenting Voice. These are all instants or sorceries that let us draw and discard for less than 2 mana. Lightness Looter and Pumpkin Bombs gives us repeatable ways to discard and draw on permanents. Frantic Search also lets us draw and discard with the added ability of letting us untap our lands. And Cura of the Rising Tide gives us a draw discard when it enters, while also generating 8/8 Octopus creature tokens for us to throw at our opponents. We also have Monument to Endurance, Secrets of the Dead, Tibal's Judgment and Bone Miser, which all let us draw cards when we discard cards, so we're always net positive. Just quickly before we jump onto the next section, I wanted to say if you're enjoying yourself and you find these deck techs useful, please do consider hitting that subscribe button or just liking and leaving a comment. It really does help feed the algorithm gods out there and would really help support the channel on another level. Thank you very much. Let's carry on. Now let's move on to our discard game plan. And as I've just mentioned a lot of the cards, I won't repeat those here, I'm just going to give you the new ones within this section. Pumpkin Bombardment and Bitter Triumph are discard outlets on removal spells, a cost that we're basically happy to pay. Ledger Shredder and Psychic Frog both grow in size as we discard cards, while also enabling us to discard cards. And lastly, we have Key to the City, a discard outlet that just lets us make creatures unblockable, a fantastic way to push the game towards an ending. Before we dive into more payoffs for this deck and the secret sub-theme that I've added in, let's take care of the vegetables, the interaction and removal spells. For creature removal, we have Pumpkin Bomb, Bitter Triumph, Fell the Profane and Snuff Out. Feed the Swarm and Withering Torment are our ways to deal with enchantment spells within black. Abrade, Untimely Malfunction can get rid of artifacts, while Cast into the Fire and Resculpt are our go-to exile effects. Sink into Super is a fantastic sneaky bounce effect, which we can use to really mess with our opponents. Archfiend of Ifnir is our disgusting way of controlling the board en masse. It also has Cycling, which is once again more discard, which means we can then cast it on the cheap. Time to go to Value Town and talk about payoffs. All these cards will give us even more value when we discard cards. Hobgoblin gets bigger whenever we discard cards, while the Mag-making Artillerist also damages our opponents whenever we discard cards. Monument to Endurance lets us draw, create treasures, or make each opponent lose life. Secrets of the Dead just lets us draw more cards. Tibal's Judgment lets us draw cards, create treasures, or make 2/2 zombie druid creature tokens. Captain Howler lets us buff our creatures by +2/+0. Cryptic Chariot lets us make 2/2 black zombies, which we can then use to crew the menacing vehicle. Green Goblin Nemesis gets bigger, and whenever we discard a land, we create a treasure token. Archfiend of Ifnir just lets us wipe our opponent's board, fantastic against token decks. And finally, Bone Miser. We can discard creature cards to make zombie tokens, we can discard lands to add mana to our mana pool, and we can discard non-creature spells to draw more cards. So now it's time to tackle the sub-theme within the deck, and this is the section that you can personalise to your heart's content. I have gone with villains because it ties into the set of Spider-Man, and also all the villains seem to have some way of buffing each other, giving each other evasion, and working well with each other, but this could be quite easily swapped out for the Praetors or Eldrazi, whatever you want to put in your graveyard to bring back for its Mayhem cost. Flying Octobot, Hobgoblin, Mob Lookout, Doc Ock Henchman, Prowler, Swarm, Beetle, Carnage, Chameleon, Green Goblin, Morbius, Scorpion, Doc Ock, Vulture and Dr. Octopus are all villains within this deck. They support each other in one way or more, giving value or power or evasion. Now the keen-eyed amongst you will have noticed I have not put any protection within this deck. There is no Swiftfoot Boots, Lava Spur Boots, Wing Boots, Lightning Greaves, or anything like that to protect our commander or key creatures when they're on the battlefield. And that's because I believe there is plenty of slots within this deck for you to take things out and personalise to your heart's content. And that's what I want you guys to do. There is no one correct way to build a commander deck, so please do make this your own. The mana base within this deck is absolutely solid, but personally I've gone to town with it. I've put in Fetchers and Shocks, Triumphs, Surveil lands. We have Pain lands, Battlebond lands, Slow lands. We have everything within here. But you can 100% play this deck with a slower, more cost-effective mana base. All I would suggest is when you're building your deck, maybe add in a little more ramp so you can make sure you can keep up with your opponents. With 19 card draw effects, 20 discard effects, 17 payoffs, and 12 removal spells, this deck has an absolute solid foundation, and I urge you to go into Moxfield and playtest it. Personally, I found it buttery smooth when it came to enabling the deck's core strategy, discarding cards to play cards from graveyard. The mana curve is absolutely lovely within this deck, and the deck has an average mana value of 2.76, which is absolutely fantastic to being able to discard cards and then play them again in the same turn. I really can't express in words how solid this deck feels when playtesting. Due to the amount of draw that also synergizes with discard, it just lets you churn through your deck, so you're always doing something on your turn while also developing your board state. The Connive mechanic works wonders within this deck, plus all the creatures getting bigger when you discard or the payoffs when you discard. It's just so good. And there is no good stuff cards. We don't have Heuristic Study or Rift or SWAT or anything like that. And you could quite easily put all of those in here and really take this to the upper levels of bracket 3. But personally, I just don't think it needs it. Now with all that said and done, if you would like to see what other Spider-Man decks I made, you can click over here. And if you want to subscribe for more content, you can click over here. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your support as always, and I shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye for now.